How do we support our general and special education teachers? Is staff training for mainstreaming and inclusion a regular part of our program? How can it be best implemented? Melissa?
Well, one of the things I'm really proud of over the last 5 years is our investment in professional development. I remember sitting here at a CAC forum 5 years ago and having a discussion about classroom aides and how they didn't get training at all. And that was unbelievable to me. I couldn't believe that we would put aides in with students, particularly students that had special needs, and not give them the training to help them. I think we need to do more training. Special ed training for teachers has come a long way in the last 10 years, but it's still fairly basic. We've started to put special ed teachers in with regular teachers in some classrooms, and that combination's working very well. Can we do it in every classroom? We probably can't afford to do it in every classroom, but we can figure out where it will have the biggest impact and try to make sure that we're providing not just the services to the students, but it helps the teachers understand, and when a teacher's been trained that way, they can move on and work with other teachers. We need to give the teachers sensitivity training. Just going back to what we were talking about before, it's not just being able to do the things, it's also being sensitive to what it feels like to be a student in the classroom that struggles every single day and is exhausted when they come home because school is so difficult. And then finally, we need to make sure that accommodations, I said this already, accommodations and interventions need to be in a common place where they can be shared and easily understood.
Thank you. Heidi?
So, I like the, am I on? Okay. I like the American Speech Language Hearing Association position on improving special education, to move away from pull-out programs and towards creating educational teams. These teams provide a collaborative service delivery to students in the more natural classroom setting. This approach meets several of students' needs. One, whole language approach to instruction, least restrictive educational setting, better generalization of treatment results. And in an attempt to maximize the use of each professional's expertise, this transdisciplinary approach encourages professionals, paraprofessionals, parents, and students to communicate and collaborate with each other to make meaningful decisions and to provide appropriate and effective services. The board role is to provide the staff training, as Melissa was saying, for this inclusion, collaborative service delivery approach. And that makes the most sense.
What comes to mind first on this question was, in fact, in the movie that we observed that there was a lot of frustration in the general ed classrooms when general ed teachers haven't been trained and they're overwhelmed and want to do the best for all children, but they're not trained. Obviously, training is the key. One of the things as well in our district, I know that the special ed directors sit in on the different principals meetings as well. They routinely did. They did not in the past, so that principals are actually even more trained than they were in the past, because special ed is part of every principal meeting every time they meet. When principals go back into the classrooms as well, part of what we want is that general ed teachers also have to have a chance for feedback and sensitivity about what they're not learning. So we have some stuff in place, but we're still working on that. The co-teaching opportunities, particularly in the high schools, have been fruitful in the science and math programs. It's a special ed teacher and a general ed teacher. There's nothing better from learning from one of your colleagues, but we're still working on different ways to do this in a thoughtful way.
I think that we need to see teachers in inclusion classrooms as one member of a larger team who may not be present in the classroom, but who need to be supported in their classroom work. So I think one thing that we really want to focus on is creating a culture of collaboration and support at the individual school sites, so that teachers who are in the classroom have the sense, a real sense, that they can draw on supportive professional colleagues like school psychologists and aides and other teachers who have experience in dealing with the kinds of issues that the teacher may be facing. That we really want to build a sense that this is a team not just physically present in the classroom, but that this is a team of adults who are around the teacher and not only around the children. TOSAs and district support staff, for example. We have great experience in using TOSAs to kind of pollinate best practices across schools. This is an area where we can do that. I also think we want to move, prudently but expeditiously to inclusion across the district so that we get the benefit of this broader professional community.